Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to day 2 of the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship. So much hype in this crowd. It's going to be another amazing day of StarCraft 2. Yesterday was absolutely tremendous. It had a bit of everything, a great game. It had a stomp or a bop, as Artosis would call it, and a little bit of controversy at the same time. Today we're going to move on, but before we get there, we do have one more game in the round of 16 to show you as well. So that will hang over from yesterday. That'll be our first match between Rogue and Life. We'll then move on to the quarterfinals and the semi-finals. By the end of today, we will have just 2 men standing in the fight for the $100,000 first prize. Can't wait to get the games underway, and we are just moments away from our first match. But first, let's go over to a new man of our panel, a man who filled in for us on Thursday, Mr. Jeff In Control Robinson on the analysis desk.
Yes, thank you very much, Red Eye. I will always fill in for you, Red Eye. I'll always do that for you. Gentlemen, welcome to the Experts Desk. Katowice, Artosis, how are you guys doing?
Pretty awesome. How are you doing? How was your flight over here?
I'm doing really well. The flight was terrifying and terrible, and then we cast a really long time. But fear not, this is a tradition for me at ESL events. Day number 1, when I come here, I usually just sleep for an entire day. I hibernate. I'm a polar bear.
You definitely did that yesterday.
I did do that.
So I hope you feel well rested and ready to talk about some awesome StarCraft 2.
Yes, we are ready for that. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to have a great time here. We're going to be yapping about the games just as per usual from yesterday. And if you want to get in on that action for the predictions, go to facebook.com/IEM and make your predictions. We're going to keep track of the community and how they do there. And of course, the commentators here as well. Most importantly, Artosis and Todd. That's my 2 favorite right now for the past.
Yeah, those are pretty fun. And, you know, so far, Todd not doing so well with that. You know, Apollo's about 50-50, right, with the community, you know, flipping coins to see who wins and stuff like that. But the leader, the big story is not me, it's you.
Yes, batting a perfect 700%. No.
Today, this is going to change, though, because you're 7-0 and I'm 6-1. But we have one different today, so we're either going to be tied up or you're going to be in a big lead.
We'll see. It's going to be a lot of fun. But let's take a quick look at that bracket, because speaking of predictions and players, we've had a lot of awesome games. So, Katowice, looking at that round of 16, what was the big surprise for you? What was the most exciting one?
Well, there was 2 big exciting series. Obviously, the first one and the last one that I got the pleasure of casting both of, actually, with Hero doing so well, and eventually being able to come back against Hyun. And then, of course, at the very end where we had final series, Revival versus Jakchi, although it was halfway through the group. But in the end, you know, that was pretty impressive as well.
That was a fantastic series, I have to say.
Man. That Jakchi Revival GIF, my God.
I didn't see the GIF, but I watched it live.
It was the Mutalisk, man.
Really? I thought it was going to be something else.
It's actually important to note, Revival tweeted an apology to his Mutalisk after that game. He said, I'm sorry to my Mutalisk. And
I'm sorry to my Mutalisk. In the future, I will have better Mutalisks.
Yes. What makes it so incredible, though, like, we've all seen that before. You know, if you check Reddit, that kind of GIF happens. But this is for a $100,000 winner-take-all tournament. 2 amazing players, and that actually happened in real life.
No, it's normally a couple plats going at it. He's like, oh my God, this just happened. I gotta make a Reddit GIF. But this time, I mean, this is one of the best circuits in the world that it happened to. So
absolutely incredible.
Kind of crazy. It was wild. What a comeback. What an awesome series. For me, that was the best. But as you said, Hero versus Hyun was really, really good.
Lots of good games, guys. This is day 2. We cannot wait to get this going. And we've got a doozy of a match to start off with. It's going to be a couple of amazing players. Let's go to Red Eye with that walk-in.
Thank you very much, guys. It is time for our first match and our final match of the round of 16. 1 man stays in the tournament, 1 man goes home. It's brutal right now. So please welcome to the stage our first player is a former GSL champion, a double MLG champion, and the Intel Extreme Masters New York champion as well. And all of that at the age of just 17. Please welcome Life. And he goes up against a fellow Zerg, a 20-year-old Korean who has made a name for himself in the Pro League and team matches, but yet to add that brilliant title to his name. But don't underestimate him. He is one of the most dangerous players on the planet right now. Please welcome Rogue. Gents, best of luck to both of you, and may the best man win. Please take your places in the booth. And with the players almost ready to go, let's head back to the guys with Jeff and find out who they think might take this last game in the round of 16.
All right, thank you, Red Eye. Now, Red Eye says, men, may the best man win. But actually, if you combine both those guys' ages, it equals to half of what Artosis is right now. That's actually incredible.
Wow, they're really, really young.
They're really young.
Are they even allowed to be here?
Under adult supervision, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Let's talk about these players. We got Life versus Rogue. The two final Zergs of the tournament. I think that's a bit of a travesty in and of itself. We'd love to see some diversity there, see them taking on Terrans and Protosses. One of them, of course, will. But let's start with Life. What do you think about Life, Artosis?
Life is great. I'm really enjoying it. But about the player Life, he is one of the best Zergs in the entire world. This kid
you are an old man.
has ice through his veins. He will not be shaken. He was one of the 3 players coming in. I looked at this tournament. I said, Polt, MC, and Life. These guys can get to that $100,000 finals and still play their best, because I think that they are just so calm, so cool, so collected. I mean, the one person this guy really reminds me of is Jaedong.
Yeah.
He came out, he's like better than everyone. His micro is superb. He's killing all the legends. It really mirrors how Jaedong came out in StarCraft 1.
He's got an attitude. He's the complete package. He's exciting. He's fun to watch. He gives great interviews. And oh, by the way, he's a GSL champion, a monster of a player. Claire's Life. Tell me about him.
I mean, when it comes to Life, it's a real heartbreaker that we actually see him in a ZVZ against Rogue in this first round.
Absolutely.
I thought that both of these guys could go really, really deep. But Life in Zerg versus Zerg is a guy that in his past 17 series has only lost one of them to Scala in ZVZ. And that includes people like Jaedong, Roro twice in there as well. Even Revival, who unfortunately got knocked out yesterday. So that's a big deal. Life plays a very aggressive brand of Zerg, but he's certainly got to be careful when it comes to the mind games here in this matchup.
Well, that's some of what we think of Life. Let's take a quick look at a video that ESL made for him.
Please welcome to the stage, Life!
Life has absolutely phenomenal control. Life is taking a great engagement already. Fungal's absolutely everywhere, but Life is up in terms of supply.
Those roaches attacking the hive, but now he comes in. That's it, GG.
The Broodlords are revealed.
I think this is one of the most exciting finals we could have hoped. Life obviously is extremely confident.
Is StarTale Life gonna add another trophy to the 5 that he already had? The DTs are the last real units that Naniwa has. GG! StarTale Life!
All right, it's an awesome video on Life. Now let's talk about his opponent, the much less known, less accredited, if you will, Rogue. Artosis?
Rogue is quietly one of the very best players in the entire world. He is doing so well in Pro League right now. He won the ridiculously stacked qualifier, taking out Sulky.
This is crazy, because usually you don't hype up players like that.
I never hype up a player. I only base off of what I've seen in results.
Right.
You know me, that's the way I do it.
You're a numbers guy, you're a numbers guy.
I'm a numbers guy. I analyze statistics and I choose everything based off that, not off of how well they play in games, whether or not they win or lose.
Right.
But this time I do have to say, Rogue is someone, although he doesn't have a championship, he is ridiculously good. And, I was talking a lot with Apollo before the event, and in fact, everybody. And we kind of all were like, oh, as long as he doesn't get ZVZ, this guy can do really, really well.
There it is. Claire's, what do you think about Rogue, man?
I mean, watching him in that qualifier, taking out Sulky the way he did was really quite impressive, but a lot of it was based on those kinds of mind games that he exudes in that matchup, really denying his opponent's scouting and then executing it very well from that point on. I mean, he's actually participated a lot in Intel Extreme Masters qualifiers. We've seen him go up against the likes of people like Hyun and Effort and dispatch of them really, really easily. So I don't know. I think he's got a good shot, but again, still, it's so down to the wire between these two players.
All right, now, gentlemen, as we've been doing since day number 1, and we're going to continue to do so, Artosis talked a little bit about this, we've been doing caster and community predictions. So put it on the line. We know your vote, so you can't lie here, James. I'm watching you. Who do you have winning this series?
I got to go with Life. I think that his particular brand of Zerg, the very heavy aggression, a lot of Zerglings with speed early on, the fact that he's very good at harassment, I think that he's the favorite here, especially since this is Rogue's first really big stage. So I'm going with Life.
Polaris?
Well, for me, I ended up picking Rogue in the end.
Oh, you gentleman, you.
I did.
All right.
I really like them both. And when it came to the Korean qualifier for this specific tournament, I was, at the end, I will admit, I was a little bit sad. Sulky is my favorite Zerg of all time. But
well, you're in good company because Todd agrees with you. You can see right there in the votes.
Yeah, he's doing very well so far.
He has gotten one correct vote, though, so you're okay. You're fine.
But no, Rogue made a fan. He made a fan out of me recently with his Pro League performances and stuff like that. But I say this could go either way because they are both very, very good in the matchup.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There are our predictions. We'll be doing that all tournament long, of course. And you can participate again at Facebook.com/IEM. That's going to do it for the analysis desk for now. Let's shoot it over to our commentators, Apollo and Rhett.
Well, thank you very much, In Control, and it's awesome to have you here, my friend. But welcome everybody to the caster's desk, where we'll be jumping into this in a couple of moments. And not only Jeff, who joins us, so do you, Yos. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Just like Jeff, I took yesterday to rest a little bit, but today I'm feeling super excited. And this is such a great match to start it off with. Life against Rogue. Both amazing at ZVZ. Life showing such dominant form.
Yep.
Has yet to lose a series in 2014. And Rogue, the challenger, who took out Sulky. So this is promising to be not only very close, but also these guys play so aggressive. They always are attacking, and it's going to be filled with action the whole way through.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this, and I'm really conflicted at the same time because I'm a big personal fan of Life. Everyone who isn't a fan of Life, everybody loves this kid. He's adorable. He's got the right attitude. He wins tournaments. He's got 6 titles under his belt. But this guy here on screen, Rogue, and as Red Eye mentioned, is silently one of the best players in the world at the moment. He's playing incredibly well in Pro League. He's beating the best of the best in each different race and matchup. But the one big problem that he comes into today, despite his actual results when it comes to individual tournaments, he's never been outside a career in a tournament. He's never competed on a massive stage like this. Do you think that's going to hurt him in his performance against an experienced player like Life?
Probably. I mean, Life has so much experience on the stage, so he's got to feel really comfortable. But to go back to the things you mentioned about Rogue, what it really reminds me of is a Dongray Gu in early 2011 when he didn't break out in Code S just yet. But everybody was talking about him. He was #1 on the ladder. And everybody was saying this guy is going to be the next big thing. And after that, he won like 4 or 5 events in the same year. And I kind of get the same vibe from Rogue right now. Everybody's talking about him. And look at that.
Yeah,
there they are.
I completely agree with you. Rogue is... A lot of people expecting Life to do well, but don't be surprised if Rogue wins this either. So let's jump into this and introduce our first player of the day. Remember, this is still the round of 16. And after this, we'll be going into the quarterfinals. Up here as the red Zerg, playing for Team StarTale. Please make some noise for Life. That's right, you tell everybody who's at home watching this on the streams that they should have been here today in Poland.
They definitely should be. And facing him today on Habitation Station in the top right, it is the Blue Zerg playing for Jin Air Green Wings. It is Rogue.
Rogue coming into this tournament through online qualification. That just tells you that he's gone through so many good players, playing from the Korean qualifier to be here today, beating one of the best Zergs in the world in the qualifiers, mentioned on his way here, Sulky. But now, in this matchup, Red, what should we be expecting to see? And actually, we already see a decision made from Rogue to open this series up, this best of 5.
Yeah, he's starting with a gas here, and this is a really interesting decision. Maybe from any other player, you would expect someone to go like Speedling opening, and maybe he's looking to blind counter an early pull from Life, which is not a bad prediction, but as we can see, Life actually did go for that 15 hatch. So I think this build actually for Rogue, it normally does not pan out that well, but I've seen him do crazy things with Link bailing off 1 base, so we could be seeing some of that from him.
All right, well, these Overlords are going to start to enter the main base, and at this point, it's information gathering time from these guys. And Life's Overlords is going to come around towards these extractors, and he needs to find out, of course, what he's playing against. He's going to have a look in now. First of all, sees lavas. He's like, wait a minute, what? Oh, there's a spawning pool. Oh, wait a minute, he's taking the gas as well, and of course we'll be looking at that and seeing that Zergling speed is already on the way. What's going through Life's mind right now upon seeing this, and what reactions does he need to do?
I think Life is probably really happy to see this. Rogue also took off the gas, so it looks like he's just going to get speed. So he's going to have a lot of map control, and Life right now with his build, he's going to be totally fine to defend against anything. And also he's actually playing gasless, and Rogue sees this. So seeing this, actually with his speed opening, maybe he'll look to do something like take the gold base as no, actually there we go, it's the natural, but he will have map control for a very long time. And he sees everything that's going on in Life's base as well, so he knows this, so he could go up to 3 bases very quick or something like that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that question next. Do you think that we could see Rogue take a fast third base, knowing that his opponent has no extractors, no form of aggression, can't even move across the other side of the map here? He's going to be stuck on 2 bases, even a spine crawler coming in here. And here is the first little skirmish of the game. And
showing off some of their Ling micro, just warming up a little bit. I'm sure there will be lots to come of the Ling Bane micro in this series. And Life not taking any chances, getting that spine crawler, which is very nice. And from here on out, it's really up to Rogue to see where he wants to take this game. He's the one in control right now, and he's going to be able to make the next step.
What is that next step going to be? Both players still not mining gas from the initial zerking speed that Rogue had. Nothing extra been added on, so pure mineral focus so far. And Life is poking in towards the main base with an Overlord by the looks of it on the minimap to try to figure out what's going on. Life sets up a defense there as well with the Zerglings to prevent any Lings running past. And what is the next decision to be made here?
Both of them so far taking a defensive stance, and both of them have that Overlord in position. So on this map, it's really nice. With that Overlord, you can always see the gas timings. You can see how much gas is being mined, and just from that, they can make really good reads on exactly what they're doing. It looks like Life will go up to a total of 4 queens. So he's going to be able to spread that creep and make a wall in a little bit later on. Looks like he might want to get this Overlord, and if Rogue is not careful, he will might possibly lose that, but there he goes. Quick reaction. And I think he's going to get to the high ground in time, but it's going to be close.
And losing an Overlord here would slow Rogue down a little bit. And Life actually pulls back that Overlord from the north there to get vision. And he does get it. So a nice start there for Life, taking a bit of blood from his opponent. But the gold base has been taken, as you expected to see here. Life immediately on top of it. And he's going to put a bit of pressure onto this.
He does have these Soul Lings, and he's outnumbering the Speedlings right now, but I don't think he's going to be able to get the cancel on this gold base. And this is actually a very bold move from Rogue, and totally taking advantage of the fact that Life did not get his gases early, and he will be able to clean up these Lings. And now it's up to Life how he wants to respond against this very quick gold base. I don't think he can afford to really let it go for a very long time.
All right, so double evolution chambers now coming in for Life, who had taken the 2 extractors a little bit earlier and will be looking to upgrade his unit shortly. And Roach one coming down, so we should be seeing some missile attack upgrades. And Rogue jumping over there, getting rid of the creep spread already. And so far, you have to be liking Rogue's position. Gold base down early. He's got map control. He's stopped the creep from spreading. He's got full information on what his opponent's doing. But where does Rogue go next? Is he just looking at drone up now? Is he looking to get a Roach Warren down soon, Evolution Chamber down soon?
I think he's going to look to drone up as much as possible while still scouting and trying to find out what Life is up to. Because from this position, the gasless player can do something like put those Evo Chambers down, but then save up a lot of money and do like a big Roach Ling attack. But Life actually getting the lair looks like he wants to take a more conservative approach to this game. And I think we're going to see Life probably make some Roaches, try to take a 3rd base, and then just go into a macro game, accepting the fact that Rogue's income is going to be slightly better. And look at how many drones are being transferred. His income is going to shoot up so fast with those gold minerals.
And you have to be favoring Rogue's position over Life, despite the supply difference between the both of them.
Yeah, I mean, the drone crown is equal, and also there's really no attack threat from Life at all. He's just getting a few Roaches now, and Rogue is going to have so much money. He will be behind in upgrades, which is a big deal. Like, Life is going to have 1-1 and then 2-2. But I feel like Rogue is going to explode with Roaches into the mid game. But look at that, Life also taking his gold base. And if he can just hold on and get his 1-1 upgrades, I actually think this position is pretty alright for Life.
Alright, well, both players now adding on Roaches. They finished droning for the time being, with a 4 drone difference between the both of them, but a much larger income, as you can see with the gold base being taken earlier. We're looking at a 500 mineral difference between the both of them for every minute that passes by. So that's quite a bit of money. It's quite a bit of money here that Rogue's going to have. So the longer the game goes on, the more income that Rogue's going to have. But as you said, 1-1 upgrades aren't too far away from finishing. Roach speed going to finish earlier here for Life, and he has started a lot of Roaches here. Is there a potential that Life can break this front line maybe with 1-1 Roach use?
He does have 8 more Roaches right now, so he's probably going to look to attack. He's also just getting Overlords and more Roaches. But I feel like Rogue, if he just keeps injecting, he should be able to hold on here. Although they are so close to each other because of the gold base being towards the middle of the map that this timing could actually be very dangerous. Also with the double queens being moved out, they're going to have 3 transfuses each, which is a big deal.
Yeah, and look at this Overlord spreading creep inside the middle of the map here. And as you said, they've got a lot of energy. And Life's going to move forward now. Is Rogue ready? The army supply heavily in favor of Life at this moment. He's going to move forward. 1-1 completed. And that attack upgrade for Rogue hasn't even finished yet. But he's got Lings counter-attacking onto the gold base. And is Life going to be able to make this timing work here? He could open up this best-of-5 series with a win, and he jumps right in there. And here goes the Roach attacks. The Queen's not too far away behind. And this looks like Life's going to be really well for himself here.
Yeah, Rogue has a decent position on the ramp, but there's just so many Roaches, and he's just getting completely overwhelmed right now, Rogue is. And it looks like he just made barely too many drones, and Life just keeps pressing forward. Those transfuses being used right now, they're finally out, but look at that. There's just a huge road advantage for Life.
And with the Roaches being broken down here, Life hits that timing. And Rogue has been broken. GG. Life opens up this best-of-5 with a victory into his name.
And that was a very clear statement from Life. He didn't do anything fancy. He just went for that very standard 1-1 Roach timing attack. And Rogue, you know, he made a good decision taking the gold, but he was 10 drones up on his opponent. I think that was just slightly too many. If he just stays on the same drone count and has more income, he's able to defend there, and it looks good for him. But very sharp from Life.
All right, so good game here to start us off here in the last game of the round of 16 before we complete the 8 players that are on search for one goal, and that is the $100,000 prize for first place here at the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship. And 2 fantastic Zerg players fighting from the Korean region, but if you think about the differences of them, we talked a little bit about how Rogue is this underdog. He's this guy that's working so hard right now to climb to the top, to be one of the best. But he's a Code A player.
Yeah.
He's a Challenger League player in Korea. Life is currently sitting top 8 and is waiting to move forward and forward in the Premier League, in the GSL in Korea right now. So a massive difference between them. But on stage, who's going to come out on top today, Rhett?
Yeah, Rogue's got to feel a little bit unhappy with how that game panned out for him. I feel like he made all the right steps, but just barely losing out like that. Like, it's always you play those games and you think, if I could just go back in time a little bit and make a little bit less drones and a little bit more Roaches, maybe I win that game.
Yeah.
But now he's staring at a 0-1, and his opening, you know, I think he wanted to counter a fast pull, and maybe he's a little bit afraid of Life, playing very aggressive, and maybe Life is already inside Rogue's head just a little bit, just from how he opened that game.
All right, well, our second map here in this best-of-5 is going to be Polar Knights. So we'll see what's going to happen here with the initial openers. Of course, in any mirror matchup, the openers are very important to dictate the pace of the game, just like we saw in that previous one. And it very well could be a different story coming into this next one. So, welcome to Polar Knight, everybody. The second map here. And up to the top, the north of Polar Knights, as the red Zerg player playing for Team StarTale. It's Life! Still can't believe he's only 17 years of age, Red.
It's
17
crazy.
with
Yes.
6 StarCraft tournaments to his name.
Yeah, and right now he's playing against a 20-year-old representing Generic Green Wings. In the bottom of Polar Knight is the Blue Zerg, Rogue. And like you said, Life being only 17 years old, he's already been a guy who's already won tournaments. He's already had a slump last year, but he's still so young, and it still feels like we might not have even seen the best Life yet. And he just keeps getting better and better into 2014, and this could be a big one for him to take down this whole tournament.
And, you know, another big difference to compare these two players again, we talked about a Challenger League player versus a Premier League player in the World Championship Series. But Life, coming to this tournament, was the winner of the Intel Extreme Masters New York. Rogue is an online qualifier, a massive difference between the both of them once again here. But we do have the 2 decisions with their opening build orders, Rhett. You can walk us through this.
Yeah, I think this is a very conservative play from both. They do not want to take any chances, and Life, in that last game, you know, he probably feels like, hey, if I just play a standard Roach game, I do pretty well. And 15 pool is great for opening into another gasless game if he wants to do so. And this time Rogue, at least he's not behind from the opening, just like last game. So, well, I think we're going to see probably a very standard, another Roach heavy play from both players here.
Is Roach heavy play the most common and the only thing to really see in Zerg vs Zerg nowadays, or do we see a little bit of Mutalisk, maybe some Roach Infestor, or what about Roach Hydralisk considering the recent change?
Yeah, it's kind of funny how it works in TVZ. Like, you can play Roach Baneling, which destroys Roach Hydra, and then you play Roach Infestor, which destroys Roach Baneling. So there's 3 dynamics and 3 unit compositions that players can go for, and it kind of evens out. Like, they try to hide from each other what they're doing and try to scout as much as possible. But Gasless is probably definitely the most popular opening at the moment, and we do see both players not taking a gas so far. So
with both players, with the Overlords in each other's base, they both see each other not going for gas. Compared to if you see your opponent taking a gas, like we saw live, who then had to play defensive. You had to get the Lings out early, build a spine crawler, lots of queens, made a wall. But now in this game, they've both seen none of them taking gases. How do you play this out? You just drone heavily? You're like, all right, well, you can't do anything in this game. Or do you look to try to take your gases earlier? Do you look for some kind of timing to hit before he's ready?
yeah, what you normally do is just get a bunch of queens. You take a defensive posture. But both players scouting each other, like you said. I really like the idea of not getting the extra queen and getting double class gas a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
And then you get a quicker link speed and you actually take map control. But it looks like Rogue will go up to 3 queens here at least, and the same goes for Life. So they're just going to stick with the defense. And actually Life gets a Zergling into Rogue's base and still sees no gas at all and responds immediately by dropping down his double gas a little shy of the 5-minute mark.
And who would be surprised that Life would be the first player to take his gases here? Any opportunity for Life to be aggressive? Absolutely. We know his play style, he's on top of things, his control's fantastic, he loves his Zerglings, he loves his counterattacks, and let's see how proactive he can be in this game, because Rogue isn't too far behind with his extractors, as they were thrown down a round later than his opponent, but not too different in time.
Yeah, actually, I like this a little bit better for Rogue because he's just not far behind enough that Life is going to have a huge window with link speed or some kind of roach pressure, whatever he decides to do. And Rogue, a little bit better economy, but he did actually go up to 4 queens and Life only 3. So I like that better for Life. But I think so far both sides are really even, as you can see.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same Harvester count.
Ooh, look at this though. Life's deciding to go straight to the lair with his initial 100 gas bank from the 2 extractors, straight to lair. Skipping Zergling speed, skipping the evolution chamber. Is he going to base Mulisks?
No, I think with that 3rd gas being taken for Life as well, he's just going to decide like, hey, well, I'm not going to get link speed, but I'm going to rely on roaches to defend my 3rd base. And we see the double evolution chamber going down, so it's definitely going to be roaches here from Life.
Yeah.
But Rogue, he's going to have link speed, and he might be able to cancel Life's 3rd. Like the next step of the game is all going to be about that 3rd base. Who can hold on, who can defend, and who can do damage to their opponent.
All right, well, neither of these players have actually picked up any information after the initial start of this game, so that's the next part where they actually need to find out what they're playing against. And Life has a couple of Zerglings at the front door here on creep, and he's moving forward a little bit here, and he is going to be able to spot the Evolution Chamber and Roach Warren. So he knows now that, well, he could be, well, actually, look at this. No Evolution, the Evolution Chamber wasn't used. Zergling speed's been built, and 13 roaches.
Yeah, and Rogue actually going for a big attack here, like you mentioned, no upgrades whatsoever, and he's looking to surprise Life, but Life responds by just getting roach speed. He also saved up a lot of larva, and he's going for a big 1-1 timing once again. So I feel like this actually works out very poorly for Rogue, who's going to try to really surprise, but he'll be surprised when he see all the roaches with roach speed being close to done as well.
All right, well, here's a wave of units. This area has been cleaned out by Rogue, and Life will see it not too early here, and even 2 queens coming to push this out as well. There is a 3rd base being taken on the left-hand side here, which does play to the image that Rogue isn't really doing anything at this moment. Yeah, and he's going to come down this left-hand side. Life will now see it, and Life has got quite a few roaches out himself. He's got actually equal roaches pretty much. It's 12 roaches for Life, 13 here for Rogue. Rogue does have a lot of Zerglings to help back this up, but is he going to be able to have enough here? The defensive setup of Life, it must be great.
Even trying to add another evolution chamber, and here we go, actually, Rogue trying to make it in, and he will take down that first evolution chamber, and now there's so many speedlings which will really, really help, but such a nice position from Life, and this is going to be so close. There's a transfuse going down. Roaches from Life are falling, and the roach count is actually dwindling as well for Rogue. I think Life will be fine to hold this off here, but it's going to be close.
Yeah, it's going to be close. If only his 1-1 upgrades were complete, but with queens added in there, if need be, drones can come off the line, which they are going to do to help buffer for this. And Rogue's pushing forward. He's actually got 2 queens that have made their way across here, but it is Life who stands strong in the defense. He's got the faster reinforcements. He's got additional queens if need be. And now the 1-1 shall complete. Life holds on. He gets to his upgrades. He's got roach speed, so he says, all right, you Rogue, you're coming to try to capitalize on what I was doing wrong? No, let me show you what you've done wrong in this game. And now Life is cleaning up everything here, and a massive difference between these 2 players.
Yeah, Life rushing through.
Drone at this point. He has to build units to defend this.
He's got to defend the next upcoming attack. I'm not even sure if he can. He's behind 12 roaches right now, and he's behind upgrades, and he doesn't have roach speed. I think this is looking very, very dangerous for Rogue.
This is not looking good at all, as Life on 3 bases himself, can very easily drone at any point he wants, but with Roach speed and an upgrade advantage here, he's able to outmaneuver his opponent, he's got better upgrades than his opponent, and he's just hammering this one home. He's building more and more Roaches, he's got a better army supply, he's going to take the head-on fight, and even though Rogue's +1 attack comes in, it's not going to be a big difference here, unfortunately. The number game is heavily in favor of the StarTale player, and he's just hammering this one. GG, 2-0 already.
That was fast. And Life here proves himself to be the Roach master. Pretty much the similar builds he did in both games, just a quick 1-1 Roach timing. In the first game, Rogue overdrone a little bit, then in this game he tried to go for a very sneaky attack, but unfortunately for him, he just runs into a massive wall that is Life's Roaches, and so far, you know, I'm very surprised. Like, I expected Life to really bring tricks and special plays to the table, but so far he's just playing extremely solid, and it's really working out for him.
And Life is pretty much telling everybody here who's watching, hello everyone, I would like to go towards the $100,000 grand final, please, and I would like to win it. I'm 17 years old, I'm not too sure what I would do with $100,000, but I would like to have that in my bank account. Eventually I can spend it. And Rogue here now has to win 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
Against a 6-time StarCraft 2 champion, a player who, I think the best way to describe Zerg, the best way to describe Life is he is Zerg. He's like a part of it. He is the Swarm Reds.
He is
pretty much one with the Zerg.
He's also the #1 Zerg in the world pretty much right now. He's carrying the Swarm, and he's got some broad shoulders. He might be able to carry it all the way through to the finals, and he's looking so strong so far. He's not made any mistakes, just really solid, not missing any injects, not making any micro mistakes, just standing by the way he's playing right now, and it's working for him. And it looks so simple, like it's just 1-1 Roaches, but with the amount of mind games going on, and Rogue actually Rogue's the one trying to bring special tactics.
Yeah, do you think that Rogue being the one that's trying to do these special tactics to try to capitalize on something which Life hasn't got set up to defend it, is that not a sign of pressure and nervousness that he's like, all right, I need to do something here to try and trick him to get a win? Why isn't he just playing straight up? Why isn't he doing the same that Life's doing?
Yeah, well, it's also kind of like the current metagame where this happens a lot, and on ladder it might work, but I really do feel like you're right. Like, it might show some insecurity that he's trying to play special, like he's trying to predict builds, and he's trying to do timing attacks, but Life is just having none of it. And I think from Rogue in the next game, I think he would be smart to go back to playing a more defensive game and see how far that takes him, because all the cleverness is not helping him so far.
All right, well, let's hope something otherwise. This is going to be a 3-0 sweep. And it will be in favor of this man down here in the bottom of Heavy Rain. As the Reg Zerg player, could be the last time to introduce him here in the round of 16. Playing for Team StarTale, it's Life.
And his opponent currently trailing 2 games in the top of Heavy Rain. It's the Blue Zerg player, Rogue. I think compared to the last map, this map, Heavy Rain, there's so many ramps towards the 3rd base. I think this is a better map. Oh, wow. Actually, hold that thought. Life going for a 10 pool here. And this is going to be so hard for Rogue. Like, if he might feel like he has the 15 hatch, you know, to play a solid macro game, and then bam, Life just takes full advantage, throws down the 10 pool. But we'll just have to see how Rogue is going to open. If he does go for the 15 pool, he's actually in pretty good shape.
Well, he's going for a 15 hatchery here. He's got a drone waypointed down towards the natural. And I think this is showing a little bit of experience difference between these 2 players on the big stage here. Life's just reading this one and saying, all right, well, this guy's tried a couple of tricky things a couple of times in a row. He's going to have to play a straight-up game to beat me, so let me just do something to just take this 3-0. And what's the... what do you reckon the odds are for Rogue actually holding this, Red? Is it decent?
I'm really hoping for Rogue that he throws down a 16 pool, but actually his drone is going towards the gas, so his pool is going to be even later than it normally would be. And at this point, I think at the very, very least, the hatch is going to be cancelled, and after that, it's going to be up to Life to see how many drone kills he can get. If he can get about 3, he takes a huge lead. If Rogue manages to keep his drone alive and get a fast speedling, then actually he's in an okay position to still do well. But, you know, Life, before he was the champion, before he was the all-around solid macro player, he was a 1-baser and a 10-pooler, and this is kind of his bread and butter from way back in the day before he became famous. So I feel like Life is going to do so well with this 10 pool and take full advantage of the fact that he gets a build order advantage in this game.
Well, here come the Lings. They were spotted quite early on. You can only think that Rogue is sitting in that booth saying, no, please, this is not the way I want to die, and let's see if he's able to make this work. And he's going to have to use these drones so well. He must not lose any. He must buy time to get the Queen, to get the Zerglings, potentially for a Spine Crawler here. He needs the time. The hatchery on the natural completes. And lets it complete here.
So smart for Life to send 3 Lings ahead into the main base and take away some mining time. So far, Rogue has not lost any drones, and he does have 100 gas, so his link speed is faster. If he can continue to hold on and not lose any drones, I think actually he might be in an okay position, because he's going to pretty much be on the same drone count as Life. Actually, he's ahead by 3 drones, and he will have link speed started, so Life, he would need to get a little bit more done with his links to be in a really, really good position. But still, he's already got the Queen out, and here we go. He's trying to target a few links, but I do feel like Rogue has enough links. Oh, wow, 2 gets surrounded. Excellent.
Nice grab there by Life. Those Lings were not destined to live for long here, and Zergling speed on its way for both players here. And would you call this a success for Life?
It was definitely a success, but then again, if you do look at the unit count, it's 15 drones against 16 drones, 12 links against 7 links, and both now have a Queen and link speed on the way. And there's actually a Baneling nest for Rogue, and Life is a little bit behind on that. He doesn't have the gas quite yet. And actually, with Rogue retaking his expansion, it's surprising how well 15 hatch can actually do against 10 pool, even though it's a build that actually made to counter 15 hatch.
Well, there's a lot of units out here for Rogue. He's chasing Life back, who's only just now thrown down the Baneling nest, which has already been thrown down for Rogue, so we'll see how this is going to shape up. There is the countdown timer, 10 seconds left for Zergling speed to complete. Does Life have the right amount of units out here? He's got to be careful if he doesn't, because of course, with Zergling speed finished, he can get an easily wraparound, but it looks like the unit count is very similar. One Zergling has been sent in.
Yeah, very clever. He just wants to see how far ahead is my Baneling nest, and he does see that the Baneling nest is only half complete. And now he morphs in 2 Banelings, so there's going to be a good amount of time where Life does not have any Banelings of his own, and he has to be really careful now.
Ooh, that could have been close. And these Banelings, if they get the right detonations, they were pretty good, but obviously could have been better there. But Life is a little bit behind in supply. Both players just pumping out the units here.
And it seems like Life is the first one to switch over 2 drones once again. But that was actually some insane micro by him. He pulled back his links just in the right time, did not take too many losses against those Banelings. And it looks like Rogue is not done. He wants to keep attacking because he just keeps making more and more links.
Well, it's Life's turn to attack now. He's got 3 Banelings being morphed. That's a lot of links here for Rogue. And these Banelings, if somehow they can complete, would be absolutely fantastic here. There's one Baneling very close, but it's not going to complete there, and Rogue does deny that attack. A fantastic play there from Rogue, and for once he's actually given the fight back over to the StarTale player.
Yeah, and he takes a very, very good trade there. He got, that Baneling.
Oh, that could have been a nice move.
Very clever, trying to intercept the links, but Life, of course, knows to always look at the minimap. He does not get surprised, but he's still in a very tough position. He's going to have to micro very, very hard. But he does have 2 Banelings of his own finishing now, so he should be able to hold off. But this is such a tense situation, and if you look at the minimap, Rogue keeps making links. He's just going to keep attacking, and
one mistake from either player right now would cost them the game, pretty much. It's so... Oh, that was actually not too bad, but that one Baneling, it needs to go down. The links are running away from it, and Rogue has already picked off one of these Queens. He's keeping these Banelings alive, and there, nice move back there from Rogue with those links to keep the majority of them alive, and 2 Banelings are heading for the drone line. And Life realizes the threat, immediately starts to split, but this is a fantastic position for Rogue here. He's got a better income, he's mining a lot more money right now with these drones just running around. Life takes minimal damage there, but he's not mining anything.
Life loses no drones, but yeah, like you said, he's not getting any money, and Rogue is just looting in so many lings, and Rogue finally in this 3rd game, he is showing off some of his strength. His micro has been excellent, and he's keeping toe-to-toe with Life and pushing him back, and I would have to say the advantage is definitely going towards Rogue right now.
Yeah, 3 drones more lings, more money in the bank, and he's even got an overload more than his opponent too, so he doesn't need to build another one where Life would do if he's able to get up to the same supply mark. And as you can see, 41 supply for Rogue, 29 for Life. And he's got 4 Banelings morphing in. There's one there. Oh, nice pullback. And
we will get that Baneling once again. And Rogue so far really has made no mistakes at all with his link micro, which is very impressive. They have it in focus for such a long time already, just not stopping with this intense micro. And looks like Rogue will finally overpower once again the Zerglings off Life, keeping his Banelings alive. And Life is in a lot of trouble now.
And with losing that Queen earlier in the previous fight, he just doesn't have the same lava injects that Rogue has right now. It's 2 Queens to 0. So Rogue, over time, if he just keeps on trading equally, should be able to win this out. And as we can see, the supply advantage going heavily in favor of Rogue now. And I'm glad that we're seeing this game, Rhett. I'm glad we're seeing Rogue put up a fight, because this would have been a 3-0 if he hadn't have done that. And this could prove to be a great series from this point on. But it's not over yet. But with these Banelings, if they get the right detonations inside this main base, inside that drone line,
so many damage drones right now. He's going to be able to pick off 1, 2, 3.
GG, and Rogue gets a victory and stops the landslide.
Yeah, Rogue finally showing off some of his ZVT muscle, and really nice to see. I mean, actually, what do you think went wrong for Life? Because he picked a 10 pool thinking I'm going to play against 15 hatch, but then still, he was just like, you know, after the 10 pool, he just was behind a little bit the whole way, and Rogue just not letting up, showing off excellent micro. And definitely, I think...
It seemed like Rogue's reaction to the temple, he didn't freak out, he knew what he had to do, and with that very clinical decision-making, seemed that was the small difference that helped him survive there. What if he had panicked and not taken gas, stopped the extractor, started to build spines, additional lings, and had taken a different route? But he seemed very calm upon seeing that 10 pool.
Yeah, and it's like in so many of my own games, actually, you think you're taking a huge lead, but if the 15 hatch player does what Rogue does, you end up on the same drone count. And I wonder about Life now, what he's thinking, because he was probably thinking he was going to get a quick 3-0 now, and now he's going to have to go back to the drawing board, and Rogue possibly gaining the confidence he needs to go into a strong comeback here, possibly taking it to game number 5.
All right, so depending on what the next map is here, which we will get in a couple of seconds' time, will be able to give us a little bit more information on what we could see. It's going to be Frost here, Rhett.
Yeah, so this is really interesting on 4-player map. So far, it's only been 2-player maps, and they've been able to scout each other very early. Like, normally I would really favor some kind of quick pool build here from Life, but considering he did it in the last game, it's a really hard decision to make. But on the other hand, it's a really hard decision to make on this map to not 15 hatch. Because if you 15 pool and you're cross positions, and you scout each other very late, you're just in the dark for so long, that 15 hatch really is the best opening here. But so many mind games are going on right now, and the early game decision is going to be such a tough one to make for both players, but probably either one of them will come out ahead.
Which player is more likely to be aggressive? The player playing from behind 2-1, or the player playing ahead 2-1?
Well, I don't know. I don't know how Rogue feels right now in this offline setting. If this was online, I would say like Rogue definitely going to go for something like 10 pool speed. But it's so much pressure, and he knows that if he loses this game, he's actually going to be out.
All right. Rhett, please do me the honors.
All right, guys. So in the top left of Frost, it is the Red Zerg, still up 2-1. It is StarTale's Life.
And down here to the bottom left of Frost, playing for Jin Air Wings, it's Rogue.
And actually, Life is not in StarTale anymore, right? I made a mistake there. I think he's playing for Incredible Miracle, or...
He plays for Incredible Miracle in Pro League, but still a member of StarTale.
He's still a member of the team?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but look at this build. Look at this build, Red.
Yeah, and it is actually the early pool from Rogue, so really nice to see that he is not impressed by his environment. He does not care that he's in Poland in front of a huge crowd. He will bust out the 10 pool, and I really like this decision. They will also scout each other first, which is a very big deal, and now Rogue eliminates the problem where he doesn't know where his opponent is at. He knows exactly where to send the Zerglings, and now Life is going to have to... it looks like he does throw down the 15 pool, which this is now really tough for Rogue.
All right, Rogue with balls of steel here, being able to try to make this work. And of course, there's there's a benefit and a downside, really, if you think about it. The overload from Life, sure, is giving Rogue the information on where he needs to send his links, but also that overload is going to spot the links coming immediately here. And Life's going to have a bit of a heads up. He will be slightly prepared here, but we have the fast Baneling nest with the gas coming in.
And this is so rough for Rogue. I really liked his idea, but right now he sees that he's playing against 15 pool, and now Life has all the tools necessary to defend this. He does spot the links immediately, so he's saving up his larva. He's going to be able to make 6 links very, very fast. If he makes no mistakes, he'll be able to push back the links without a problem. There might not even be time to morph Banelings, and I definitely have to give the advantage to Life here, who takes a really nice build order lead.
For Rogue to be able to tie this series up, he'd be hoping on a mistake from Life more than anything now.
Yeah, Life pretty much is going to have to make mistakes. Otherwise, this is just very, very difficult for him to do anything.
All right, well, up go the Lings, but down also come Life. So how is he meant to morph banelings now the baneling nest is finished? As you wisely pointed out here, he's got 2 additional ones at the back, so they're the ones that are going to have to be that. And he's going to drag Lifeslings down to these.
Yeah,
Life does turn around though.
He has to morph them all the way back. Life did not see the banelings, but he has to know that it's a temple baneling. He's getting a queen, he's getting a spine crawler, and once that queen is finished, if he can just target down the banelings with the queen, but here do come the banelings. Life, be careful.
Oh!
Wow.
All right, well, that's a lot of hits there from that baneling, and I'm not too sure what that was about there, but that may have been the mistake that could help Rogue out here.
Yeah, now Rogue actually has a timing where he might be able to take down the hatchery, but he does actually go for the queen. I'm not sure I like this position. There's a spine finishing up on the ramp, and Rogue has to try to go for the hatchery here, but the spine is already moving down.
Yeah.
And if this spine gets on the low ground, then I don't see what Rogue can do, but he will surround the queen right now.
He's going to bring the queen down, and he's also going to get these 2 lings, and then he's going to go for the spine crawler here, you'd imagine. And this is pretty good, but may not be good enough. We're about to find out, though. The spine crawler completes. 2 additional queens are on the way, and if they complete, then this could be just game over. He needs to go soon. He needs to make this happen.
And look at that. He will get the speed. So from this point on, Rogue is just going to attack until either it works or he just Life wins the game. But with this spine, like you said, being complete, it's going to be so hard. Life still trying to micro a little bit against those banelings. At the same time, that spine did take a bit of damage, so Life does have to be really careful right now.
He's building another spine. He's going to go up to 3 queens. He's even adding on drones. He's got a big supply advantage, and unless we see something drastic happen here for Rogue, this is going Life's way. And here comes the attack. The lings are spread. Spine crawler goes down here. There's still quite a few lings left.
But there's 3 queens. Oh, the speed finishes, and actually, if he can take down these queens, he might actually be in a position, but the lings just finished, and the queens are proving too strong, too much armor.
He brings down 1 queen, but still 2 remaining. That other spine crawler's completed, a full health one, and Life is making the hold here.
Yeah, and
Life's making the hold.
Life's just going to build up energy on his queens. He's going to have transfuses later on.
Oh, he's picked off an overlord as well, and that's so big considering that the income is so small for Rogue, and everything is just failing at this point.
Yeah, but he's not done. He's just keeps making lings and keeps making banelings, and maybe hoping for some kind of miracle.
Yeah, but as you pointed out, Life's the one that plays for Incredible Miracle in Pro League Red, not Rogue.
Yeah.
And with a wall now being made, transfuses available, a spine crawl and an additional queen. This is disastrous here. Rogue, what is he going to do? What can he do?
He kind of has to expand, but at the same time, there's no way he's going to be able to catch up in drones at all. But it looks like he will switch over to drones, and he accepts, okay, you've defended very well, Life, and I'm going to try to make a comeback, but from this position, man, it's so tough.
The drone count 14-9, 14-11, but double hatchery, lava injects. He can just now start to incredibly crying up, because Rogue now has to try to find 300 minerals to throw down a second base, and by the time that second base finishes, Life could be on full 2-base saturation pretty much. He'd be just steamrolling with this one, but Rogue's not just going to give up, because if he does, that's it. He's come all the way through the online qualifiers to play in Poland, to play in this 16-man tournament. And if he just gave up, that's it, it's over. He's going to fight to the death here, but this is going to have to be, as you said, a miracle. He's got to find a miracle somehow.
Yeah, and the one thing he has going for him is that Life still is not taking any gases, so forever there's not going to be any link speed. So he will probably try to go up to 3 bases, but Life could just go back to the way he was playing in game number 1 and 2 and attempt for some kind of big roach play. And with the gold base, Rogue was not able to catch up in roaches before, and now it looks even more difficult for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's supply blocked again now at 26 supply without building an overlord. Things just aren't going too well here for Rogue, and with Life finishing up an overlord, taking all 3 gases, he can get Zergling speed, he can get 1-1, he can go layer. And that drone counts 6 additional drones.
This overlord block is so brutal, because he has to catch up right now, but he can't, because he's supply blocked. And Life is just taking his lead and going with it. He's finally getting comfortable. He knows he's not in any trouble. Just adding drones, getting his gas. We will probably see him go for lair once again, and then probably the double attack and carapace upgrades, and end this with roaches.
Yeah, end it with roaches. Start this series with roaches, end it with roaches. And, well, Rogue is going to move around, trying to maybe find a way to get into the main base to get a bit of damage done to slow Life down, but he fails there. And there is the layer coming in for Life.
Yeah. And Rogue just finished his natural hatchery. He's just now building his second queen. He does not have double injects where he might want to. And once again, he's supply blocked once again. So, I mean, maybe the nerves are getting to him a little bit. Maybe he knows the hard position he's in. It's getting harder for him to make the correct decisions, harder for him to execute his mechanics, which are normally flawless, and the supply difference is already 20. And there are the double upgrades, so next is the Roach Warren. We'll probably see Life building up Overlord, saving up Larva, and then coming out with a huge swell of Roaches.
I mean, look at the supply count for Life, 59 with 76. He's already opened it up a lot now. And without building drones when he physically can because he has all this lava, he's just going to build a lot of Roaches here. And he's just going to go for the kill. And I mean, what can Rogue do to stop a killing strike of, 10, 15, 20 Roaches? Nothing. That's the big problem here. And Life is winning slowly, but Rogue is dying so slowly and painfully in this game. Roach speed starts, the third base is down. We have an evolution chamber coming in, a third base being taken for Rogue by the looks of it.
Yeah, he's a little bit behind Life, and look at that. Life always has that drone ready just to make sure the Lings do not run into the main base, and now 13 Roaches are on the way, and I don't think Rogue even has a Roach Warren yet. No, he doesn't.
And unfortunately, Rogue deciding to play this one out has been a bit of a painful sight here for Jin Air fans and Rogue fans, but unfortunately this tournament is not Rogue's. It is not the tournament that he breaks out his performance, but I think we can all safely say that Rogue definitely is going to make that breakout soon in an individual league, whether it be in Korea in the GSL or whether he starts traveling a lot more this year. But without the defense necessary to stop this, he's got one upgrade coming in, he's got a Roach Warren finishing up, but he's at 50 supply to 107. And Ling's trying to go for that runaround. Always trying to get a bit of damage done. Maybe he's going to try and slow down Life a little bit, but the Roaches are already on pursuit. They're on the other side. They're going.
Yeah, and Life just now moving down towards Rogue, and Rogue is just starting his first Roaches, and it's physically impossible for him to hold this attack. And, I really like his decision to go for Temple Banelings. Maybe on any other positions when the Overlord don't meet instantly, maybe Life goes for the 15 hatch. But just so unlucky with the positions. But he definitely did show, like, he's not impressed easily. He did go for that really hard decision, being down 1-2, and it didn't pay off. And now Life crashes in with so many Roaches, and
his 1-1 upgrades. He's got the higher Roach count, he's got the higher drone count, he's got the higher score count, and he will be going on to the quarterfinals here. Rogue came, valiant effort, but it is Life who goes into the quarterfinals and will complete our top 8, will complete our quarterfinals, and he shall fight against Tasia.
Yes, and that is such an epic matchup.
The rematch from DreamHack Winter last year, where Tasia was invited into this tournament based on that victory over Life, and they shall face off again.
And Life, of course, always being known for his superb ZVT, so it's just going to be a delight to see him play that matchup here on the stage. And Tasia, yesterday, everybody thought he was down and out, so we can never count him out. He can come back 3-2 against Stardust, and he definitely has what it takes to put up a very good fight, if not beat Life.
Yeah, just an absolutely fantastic performance from this young individual on screen. And as expected, he's come here wanting to probably win it all. And as he leaves the booth, please make some noise for Life as he moves into the quarterfinals, and he does obviously want to be playing in front of you guys, as he was very, very interested and wanting to play on the main stage yesterday when there was that maybe option that he didn't get onto the main stage. But there is Life, and happy to see that quarterfinal. That's going to be a good one, as you say.
So nice to see Life go on, proving that he is one of the best Zergs in the world. Round of 8 GSL, now round of 8 IEM Katowice, and things are just looking up for him. And I can't wait to see more games from him.
At Aces RG, he got top 8, he got top 4 at NorthCon the previous year, he got second at DreamHack Winter. Life is an incredible player. And now let's hear from that amazing player on stage.
Thank you, guys. With Life, congratulations, first of all. Really, really great games from you. I suppose my first question is this. Was it as easy as it looked? And if it was, what happened in map 3?
정말 지금도 3대1로 그냥 이겼잖아. 그래서 정말 이렇게 쉬웠는지 그냥 쉽게 올라간 것 같은데, 그리고 그 세 번째 판 뭐 했는지, 왜 졌는지.
제가 빌드가 아예 상대방이랑 거의 상성으로 제가 운이 따랐어요. 그래서 쉽게 이긴 것 같고, 세 번째 판은 상대방이 선한마당 할 줄 알았는데 제가 그래서 한 건데, 그냥 빠른 가스였으면 제가 드론을 다 죽였어야 했는데 용링을 해처리 때리지 말고 그랬으면 됐는데 그것 때문에 아무것도 이득 못 보고 해서 불리해져서 진 것 같아요.
So it actually looked easy because all the bids that he made were like kind of counter bid, so everything worked out. In the third game, actually he expected that he goes hedge first, and it was actually he won the build order, but he did a mistake. He went for the hatchery instead of the drones, and that's what cost him the game at the end.
Okay, $100,000. Is that? Can you contemplate that amount of money and winning that amount of money, or is that something that you just don't want to think about right now?
지금 여기 우승하면 1억 가지고 1억 이길 수 있는데 그 돈 생각하고 있는지 아니면 지금 그냥 게임 집중하고 있는지.
돈은 생각하지 않고 있고 일단 팬들에게 좋은 경기를 보여드리고 최선을 다하면 좋은 결과가 나올 것 같아서 그냥 열심히 게임만 집중하고 있어요.
So he's not thinking about the money yet. He just tries to give to show the audience some good games, and he's trying to do as good as he can. And if he's just playing his game, he might get to the finals and win it. But it's
okay. What would you do with $100,000?
1억 우승하면 그 돈으로 뭐 할 건지.
모르겠어요. 일단 우승을 생각 안 하고 있어서 참.
He doesn't know because he doesn't think about the money.
Good answer. Okay. Moving on, quarterfinals. You now play Tasia. The last 3 times you've played Tasia, you've lost all 3 games, and you've only managed 2 wins. You're 8-2 in maps. How do you feel about going into a game against Tasia now? Are you thinking about the previous times you've played? I mean, the last time was a 4-2 loss. Or do you have something special for him?
지금 8강에서 테이자 선수 만날 건데 지금 이때까지 그전 3판 다 졌는데 테이자 선수랑 만날 때 그래서 특별히 뭐 전략 준비해놓은 거 있는지 아니면 그냥
딱히 없는데 그냥 테란전이라서 그냥 잘 되면 이길 것 같아요.
There's nothing that he prepared for Teja or in particular, but it's a Terran matchup, and if it works well for him, he should win it.
Confidence from Life. Ladies and gentlemen, our winner from the round of 16 is StarTale Life. Congratulations. He's gone, he's out of here. Back to you guys at the desk.
Wonderful job, as always, Red Eye. That was a bit of a beating. 3-1. It was not a blank, though. We did see Rogue with a little bit of vengeance there.
Yeah.
Artosis, give me your overall flavor of this ZVZ.
I didn't really care for Rogue's play. And, you know, the fact that on Frost he chose to go for a 10-pull Baneling build, which we saw about a year ago go out of style because you can just micro very well against it. Even if you go hatchery first, you're basically fine if you know how to micro. He's doing this against the #1 micro Zerg in the entire world.
To be fair, though, he out-micro did Rogue Life in that Ling Baneling game.
And which goes to show what a bad strategy that is. The fact that you go for it and you out-micro him. I mean, he didn't go hatch first that game, so maybe that was part of it, but I think that that's like a really poor choice of strategy on that map.
Claire's, there was 2 people on staff that were paid to analyze StarCraft 2 that voted for Rogue. It was you and Todd. At this heartbreaking moment, what do you think of the ZVZ?
That just wasn't the decision-making that I normally see from Rogue in ZVZ.
Okay.
Even on Polar Night, where he chose a strategy that was just straight up countered by Life. He could have made the most of it by doing what Life did later on in that game by sitting outside the wall. Obviously, he'd won at that point, but he was just solidifying that position. Rogue could have sat out there, just broken down the wall, denied that 1-1 timing, and then maybe made a better meal out of it, falling back onto his third base. But he didn't do that. He went straight in for the kill as if he actually had to go for the jugular, and it just wasn't there.
In Rogue's defense, keep in mind, he is a young kid. He's 20. Yeah. Obviously, that gets a little bit weird when you're talking about this because he was playing the youngest kid in Life, but this might have been one of his first times on a big foreign stage, and that will get to you. This Polish audience has been absolutely incredible, and it's tough to play on that stage against a 6-time champion like Life. So this does set up Life Tasia, which, as Red Eye said, harkens back to DreamHack. Some amazing games were played there, but Tasia manhandled him. Artosis, is it going to be different or more the same?
I think it's going to be different this time. Life has been playing a lot better recently, and the last time I recall them playing was at Bucharest, right? And that was kind of during Life's downtime, even though he still had a very good tournament. He wasn't playing up to what...
They played at Winter, right? Life and Tasia?
They may have played there as well, but I know, I'm like 99% sure they played at Bucharest also.
Probably, yeah.
And I felt like it wasn't Life wasn't really on top of his game at that moment, but right now it feels like he is. I haven't decided yet exactly who I think is going to win, but I don't think it's going to be one side. I don't think Taja's going to have an easy ride here.
Claire's, your thoughts?
I mean, if Life translates the micro that we see in his ZVZ to a Ling Bane Muta style in TVZ, there's everything that he can do. He could easily breeze over Tasia in terms of those battles. So, again, I have to agree with you. Absolutely a phenomenal micro across the board. Really scary to deal with.
I do want to say, Tasia yesterday, while he did win 3-2, he came back from 0-2, and he made some weird choices. He played some weird games. So I feel like, and no slight to Stardust, but you could probably throw a couple of games against a player that's not an absolute god like Life. But if Tasia feels like being Santa Claus and gifting a couple of games to Life, I don't know. I don't think it'll be so easy to recover from. So, ladies and gentlemen, as always, cast your votes. This next match is going to be really exciting. But let's go back to Red Eye now.
Thank you very much, gents. We'll check out with the guys once more when they get to the round of 8, of course. We are now done on the round of 16. We now know the 8 players through to the quarterfinals. Just 8 left for $100,000. It's getting very, very exciting right now. You heard Jeff say that, you know, we pay these guys to make predictions, but we also have the opportunity for you guys out there to make those as well. Just go to facebook.com/IEM and you can vote on all of the matches that are coming up today and, of course, the grand final tomorrow. We'd love to hear what you say, and we'll print the results up on the page of every match before we go in and compare them to whether you're better or not against Artosis and In Control and Kalaris and so on. We are going to take a very quick break in a moment, but first, I'm going to do a bit of a thing with the crowd. So cameraman, come round with me. Come round. Are you guys ready? We're going to do the giant selfie. Okay, right. You guys, we're going for a break. We'll be right back.